Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello to all the ships at sea. For those of you who are joining us live, happy Saturday/Sunday morning. We already got folks checking in from North Carolina, Ohio, Slovakia, the Netherlands, Washington State, Pennsylvania, Amsterdam. Morning in Australia. Sister Ann, I actually have done work at the Ursuline Academy in New Orleans. Super, super happy to have you here joining with us today. Very, very nice. Awesomeness. So before we jump in, just a quick reminder, you still have time to join us in the Tapping Mastery Academy for all of these absolutely amazing things. They'll help to create transformation and healing in your life. Most importantly, get you tapping more often on the things that are most useful for you. The key to an authentic life is persistent, imperfect action. And I want you to be living that authentic life. As always, all you need to do is go to tappingqna.com/5-day/offer. And if you got any questions about that, all you need to do is just hit reply to any of the emails that you've gotten from me. I sent you another one this morning answering a bunch of questions that I've received about the program. And congratulations to those of you who have already joined us. It is going to be super, super exciting. I'm glad you are with us. So, what we're going to do today, we're going to do what I call a tapping jam. Tapping jam is super, super simple. Basically, what it is we're going to tap, and then we're going to tap, and then we're going to tap some more. Over the course of the last 5 days, as you were listening to the trainings, as you were doing the exercises and the homework, as you were reflecting on your reflection questions, I am sure we bumped into all sorts of issues that you could tap on. So, what I'd like you to do, just go into the chat box right now. And what I want you to do is I just want you to drop in some of those tail enders, some of those issues, some of those things that have come bubbling up for you over the course of the week that maybe you did a little tapping on, but you'd like to go a little deeper, or it's an issue that you're not exactly sure how to approach it, or it's an issue that feels a little too big for you to dive in on your own. I'd love to hear what those things are, because what that's going to do is that's going to guide our tapping for today. So, while you are doing that, if you don't have a tail ender to type in, what I want you to do is I want you to tap along with me. What we're going to do is we're just going to do 1 minute of tapping. Just move from point to point. Nice, easy, deep breath. And just give yourself permission to be present and in the moment as things come bubbling up. And again, when we're doing this wordless tapping, you don't need to be focusing on anything specific. Simply tapping on the points makes a difference. And just be present again as you move from point to point. Oh, and just get 2 or 3 more points for me, and actually for you. Nice big deep breath. Oh, big stretch. Feel it into your body. Awesomeness. We already got some stuff dropping in here. This is a really good one. Oh, let's see here if we can make this a little bit bigger. Let's go. Boo. Nope, that's not working. For whatever reason, my little things are not showing up on the screen the way I would like them to. No big deal. Basically, what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little tapping on I can't stand out. Tap on the side of the hand. Take a nice big deep breath for me. And just move from tapping point to tapping point and just repeat after me. I recognize the fact that there is a part of me that doesn't feel like it's safe. And doesn't feel like I am allowed to stand out. If I stand out, bad things are going to happen. People are going to see me. People are going to notice me. I'm going to be the center of attention. And being the center of attention means I'm going to be judged. And I'm going to be judged harshly. People are going to question what I'm doing. People are going to question why I'm doing it. And that feels really scary. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be evaluated. I don't want to be ostracized. If I am who I want to be, it's going to bring so much unwarranted attention. And that feels really scary. I give myself permission to recognize the fact that this part of me is just trying to keep me safe. This part of me is just trying to keep me healthy. I give myself permission to know that it is possible for me to be my true self and be safe. To be my true self and be noticed. To be my true self and be accepted. Even though I might be going against the grain of what people expect of me. I recognize the fact that it is possible for me to be me authentically and be safe and healthy as I find my way and I find my path. Nice big deep breath. Nice big deep breath. Now, after each round of tapping, what I'm going to encourage you to do is I'm going to encourage you to jot ideas down. Write down the ideas that come percolating into your head, write down insights, write down phrases that resonate. Also, write the tail enders that come up as we are working our way through that. I can already see I'm not responsible for others is a possible insight that's coming from that. While you're jotting that down, also grab a quick sip of water. Let's see if I can get these to show up on the screen in a way that we can actually see them. Let's do this. Oh, went away. Give me one more second here. Sorry about this, y'all. But I want to make it so it's easier for all of us to be engaged. Da, 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 style. Nope. Okay, that's not going to happen. Sorry about that. We'll just add them this way. Let's do this. Let's pop on over and take a look and see what else we got over here. Being allowed. I feel like my past generations are saying I am not allowed. That is a great thing for us to tap on. Tap the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact there is a part of me that is carrying the expectations and the burdens of all of the generations that came before me. That they thought, or they think, there is a very specific way for me to live. And the expectations that the generations that came before me have for me are rooted in them wanting best for me. But just because they want what is best for me, it doesn't actually mean their expectations are what is best for me. Their expectations for me are based on their lived experience. Their expectations for me are based on the fears and insecurities that they are carrying. I can appreciate that previous generations hold expectations because they want what's best for me. I can appreciate those expectations. I can appreciate the intention behind the expectations without having to embrace the expectations. Just because they want it for me does not mean it's best for me. And I recognize the fact that as I release my fears, As I release my concerns, as I heal these wounds for myself, I am also healing them for the generations that come before me. It is possible for me to create healing and release, not only for myself, but for those who came before me who are open to that healing and transformation. Just because my relatives and generations that came before me have expectations for me, it does not mean they are right for me. It does not mean they are useful. I give myself permission to release and let go any expectation for me that does not serve me. And I can let these expectations go without having to let go of those who gave me those expectations. Nice big deep breath. Again, go ahead and try and jot down some insights and things that came up with that. And while you're jotting those down, I'm going to give this one more try and see if, there we go, we can make this a little bigger and easier to read. Excellent. I'm going to give this one more shot here, and we're going to go boop. Awesome. Continue in the chat box to drop in those things that you're worried about, those things you're concerned about. Oh, look at that. There we go. We finally got it figured out. Let me know what else you want to be tapping on as we work our way through all of this. What else do we have over here? Ooh, this is a really good one. Fear of getting in trouble, punishment for messing up. Tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact there is a part of me that doesn't want to get in trouble. Because getting in trouble is scary. Getting in trouble is isolating. Getting in trouble means that I won't be able to do the things I want to do. Because when I get in trouble, I get punished. When I get in trouble, there are consequences. When I get in trouble, people don't like me as much. They look down on me. They judge me. And I recognize the fact. Just because I don't do things perfectly, it doesn't mean I'm going to get in trouble. Just because things don't go as planned, it doesn't mean I'm going to get in trouble. Just because things don't work out exactly right, it doesn't mean I'm going to get in trouble. Give myself permission to know that it is safe. I give myself permission to know that I'm allowed to not be perfect, to not have everything go as planned. Just because it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean I'm going to get in trouble. And that very young version of me that is just trying to keep me safe. Because the young version of me used to get in trouble. And the real reason I got in trouble when I was young wasn't because I was doing something wrong, but because it was inconveniencing to the adults in my life. They were more frustrated with their plans being disrupted than me actually doing something wrong. Those adults are no longer waiting on me. Therefore, I'm allowed to be me. And I give myself permission to trust myself, to trust I will be safe, even when things don't go perfectly. Nice big deep breath. Big stretch. Again, grab some water. Question is this being recorded? Yes, it's being recorded, so you'll be able to come back to it. Those of you who are VIPs, you'll also get an MP3 download of this, and we're going to transcribe all of this week, so you'll get a script booked of everything that we tapped on as well, so you can just pull up the PDF and tap along whenever you want. So once again, jot down any insights that come up. Jot down any places where there are resistance and tail enders coming up. Continue to add to the chat box right now, the things you want to tap on. What are the tail enders? What are the things that came up? What are the things that are making it hard for you to not live an authentic life? Drop that in right there and give me 1 second. And I on the very tail end of a head cold, and finally everything's breaking free, which is great. It just sounds a little bit gross. Awesomeness. What are some other things that we can tap on here? This is an interesting one. Fear that if I am successful, I won't be available to help and support others as I will be too busy. Tap on the side of the hand. Everybody take a nice big deep breath. Or just move from point to point. I recognize the fact that I am striving for success. And striving for success means that I need to take action. And taking action takes time. And having success creates opportunities. And I long for those opportunities. But I also recognize the fact new opportunities also require more time. I give myself permission to know that success actually gives me more resources. Having success makes it easier for me to create opportunities, to be a support, to be helpful. I also recognize the fact, even though there's a part of me that wants to help others, sometimes this part actually gets the best of me. Sometimes this part makes sure that I'm taking care of everybody else. So I end up putting myself last. I recognize the fact. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes I choose taking care of others as a way of being safe. I choose taking care of others as a way of not taking action. Because I can justify it. Because I'm being helpful. Because I'm taking care of someone else. I give myself permission to be gentle with myself. Recognizing the fact that it's not an all or nothing proposition. It's all about my success. It's not all about taking care of others. Instead, it's a situation where not only can I do both, I can grow into both. I give myself permission to recognize taking care of me does not mean I'm leaving everybody else behind. I give myself permission to recognize in my success, in my achievement, in my growth, I can continue to be healthy, be helpful, and find balance in my life. Nice deep breath. Shake it off. When I used to tap with my buddy Alan Davidson, I'd say, "Great, tap, shake it off, stretch a little bit." And he would shake so much, all 6'7" of him and all 350 pounds of him. It just felt like, even from Houston, Texas, it felt like I was vibrating all the way up here in New York. Awesome. Again, capture insights, capture tail enders. As the tail enders keep coming up, drop them into the chat box. We can do some more tapping on them. Keep drinking water through our way through this. Let's do 3 more. Let's see what else do we got going on over here. Like this. Fear of being of others when I have fear of being a burden to others when I have any needs. Tap the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact I cannot do this alone. Change and transformation means that I will be growing, means that I will be stretching, means I will be doing things outside of my comfort zone. I also recognize the fact that this part of me doesn't want to be a burden. Because being a burden feels like I'm being a failure. Being a burden feels like I am consuming other people's time and energy. And the funny thing is, when people ask me for help, a lot of times I like providing that help. A lot of times I feel really good because I get the opportunity to use my gifts, to use my talents, to share my heart. When I do not ask for help, I think I'm being kind because I'm not being a burden. But when I don't ask for help, I am actually depriving the people in my life. I'm depriving them of the opportunity to be helpful. I'm depriving them of the opportunity to use their gifts. I'm depriving them of getting to use their talents. I give myself permission to know that I am allowed to ask for help. I give myself permission to know that when I ask for help, I'm actually giving people the opportunity to be who they want to be, using their giftedness, using their attention, being helpful, and being kind. I give myself permission to know it is safe for me to ask for help. I give myself permission to know I am allowed to ask for help. I give myself permission to know I am worthy of asking for help. I give myself permission to know I deserve to ask for help. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to get it all right. I'm allowed to grow along with everyone else. Nice deep breath. It's so funny. We don't want to be burdens, but we love it when people sometimes come to us for help. I certainly have a great deal of my identity wrapped up in being a helper. I love being a helper. I love sharing my knowledge, my experience. It just feels good to do that. And so when I am unwilling to ask for help, I'm actually depriving other people the opportunity of being caring, of being loving. Because in order to be caring, in order to be loving, in order to be helpful, you have to have context. You have to have people to care for. You have to have people to love. You have to have people to help. You know, I traveled for 20 years as a performer and stayed with families. And one of the jokes, and it wasn't really a joke, but one of the jokes I used to say was, what I'm doing by traveling is I'm giving people the opportunity to share the hospitality that they want to share. It's impossible to hospitate, if that is the verb, to show hospitality without someone to hospitate towards. It's okay for us to ask for help. People actually, in some circumstances, really appreciate that. So again, any insights, anything that came up, write those down. Tail enders, they keep coming up. Drop those into the chat box. Let's see, what else do we got going on over here? Okay, if I want to be successful, I have to show up places that I don't want to go. Tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact that for me to change, I have to act in new ways. Because if I keep doing the same thing, I'm going to keep getting the same thing. But if I'm going to change, that means I have to act in new ways. It means I need to think in new ways. It means I need to show up in new places. And there's a part of me that's afraid to show up in new places. In the real world and online. But I also recognize the fact that when I show up in new places, I get to choose when I show up. I get to choose how I show up. I get to choose when I show up. I get to choose how much of myself I share when I show up those places. And I get to choose when I leave. I give myself permission to know that it is okay to be scared. to stretch. It is okay to be concerned about how I'm going to be received. When I show up in new places and I show up in new ways, I give myself permission to know it is okay to be worried, to be concerned, to fear judgment. When I show up in new ways, I give myself permission to do that thoughtfully, deliberately, and carefully. I'm not going to run in headlong without a plan. I give myself permission to be okay. Stepping into new places in new ways. Nice big deep breath. It's so easy as we think about stepping into the world in new ways, promoting stuff on social media, going to new venues, meeting new people, acting in new ways around the people who are around us. It's so easy to feel as if making a change means I'm changing every single part of me in every moment in every single way. Instead, for me, it's more of like stretching. It's kind of like I'm breaking in a new pair of leather shoes. It stretches just a little bit and it stretches just a little bit and it becomes more comfortable. And it stretches a little bit and it stretches a little bit and it becomes more comfortable. It is okay for us to be okay taking steps into all of that. Awesomeness. Another nice big stretch. Grab some water, take some notes. Ah, awesomeness. Move from point to point. Just repeat after me. I recognize the fact that creating an authentic life is not a single action. It is not a single to do. It is not a single plan. Instead, it is about letting go of the stories that no longer serve me. Taking actions in new ways. Becoming comfortable in my own skin. And it's scary because it's scary to change. It's scary to have other people see us change. And there's a very young part of us that just wants things to be predictable, that just wants things to be easy, that just want us to be safe. And I give myself permission that even if it is not comfortable for me in this moment to feel safe. Instead, I give myself permission to someday be open to the possibility that in some small way, it will feel safe for me to believe it might be possible to someday live an authentic life that I love. I don't have to figure it out right now. I don't have to believe it all right now. Instead, I want to give myself permission to simply be open to the possibility that it is possible for me, that I'm allowed to hold a bigger vision of what I can be, of who I can be, of how I can be. It is safe for me to discover my authentic self. I'm allowed to discover my authentic self. I am worthy of deeply knowing and connecting with my authentic self. I deserve to know and connect with my authentic self. Nice deep breath. Trying to find and trying to be our authentic selves is scary. It means we have to stretch. It means we step out of the norms. It means we step out of all of the expectations that everyone else has for us as we navigate our way through this. And right now, you might be in a circumstance where you believe it's possible, but you don't think it's possible for you. So if you do not have belief in yourself and belief that change can happen for you, borrow my belief in you. Borrow my belief that things can change, that things can be better, that we can live more authentically. And that doesn't mean life all of a sudden becomes easier and all of our problems go away and it's just like rainbows and butterfly and cotton candy for meals 3 times a day. Instead, it's something that is deeper than that. The work that I do, the way that I strive for this, the change that I've created in my life hasn't happened in a vacuum. It's happened because of support. It's happened because of learning. It's happened because I've stumbled and got back up, and I've stumbled and I've got back up. And it's happened because I've had people walking alongside me. The reason why I have created the Tapping Mastery Academy is I love this tool that is tapping. I love the power that it has. I have seen firsthand, literally all over the world, the power of this tool set. But Knowing how to tap does not create change. Knowing the tapping points and parts work and inner child work does not create change. The only way that change happens is if we spend some time and we actually do the tool set. That is the reason why I've created this thing. And we're working so hard to make it so that you don't just learn stuff, but you integrate stuff. Over the course of the last week, I've seen it in the chat, I've seen it in Circle, the transformation that has happened, the insights that have come about from reflection questions, from tools, from processes, from doing this as a community, from having guidance along the way. This is an amazing opportunity for you to do exactly that. I would love, love, love if you joined our amazing community. I get so much out of it. The community gets so much out of it. The community will be enriched and we will all benefit if you join us. You know, like I said, I selfishly want you to live an authentic life. And I don't mean that because you'll be in my programs. I mean that because truly, the world is a better place the more authentically all of us live. When we show up in the world more authentically, we are vibrational leaders. We create change in big and small ways by the way that we show up in all of that. If you got any questions about the program at all, drop me a note, support at tappingqanda.com. You got the link in your inbox. You'll hear from me again on Monday. Tuesday at noon, prices are going up. So if you'd like to join us, this is your opportunity to do exactly that. Thanks for hanging out and tapping with me for 50 minutes on a Saturday afternoon, or if you're watching this after the fact, thanks for tapping along. If there's anything I can do for you, support at tappingqanda.com. Thank you for joining me all over the world. Thanks for hanging out for this really, really awesome week of doing all of this stuff. It has been a joy to engage in these conversations and unearthing these things and to hear your insights. If there's anything I can do for you, I'm just an email away. I hope you have an awesome day wherever you're in the world. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.